before Beeching came along and closed down most of the UK's railways back in the day, the Isle of Wight had a pretty good coverage of train services right across the island. Okay, it's only 22 miles by 13 miles wide, but it had a good rail network, and holidaymakers just had a much easier time of getting around that island. Okay, I know the bus services are there now, but even so, the Isle of Wight had a great rail service. Anyway, it went, and now there's only one service between Ryde and Shanklin, and at the moment, as we speak here in 2021, that's not working because there's a few technical problems. But however, one that still is working despite its age is the Isle of Wight Steam Railway, and they've done a lot to preserve many of the Isle of Wight's train heritage.
Before I'd even arrived at the Steam Railway's car park, I spot yet another of the island's iconic forms of public transport. This old Bristol open-top double-decker bus.
These are just beautiful buses. I remember travelling to the Isle of Wight back in the 70s, even in the 80s I think, and these were still in use then. In fact, I remember doing an interview for the BBC on a programme I was directing back in 1998, and in that very seat at the back there we interviewed Jack Douglas, who was from the Carry On films, the one who used to go hey, because he lived in Shanklin.
As soon as you enter the main Havenstreet station, you're immediately taken back to a bygone era of oldie world England, where steam engines still rule, and friendly, passionate staff ensure every moment of your journey and visit is memorable. This service has around 5 miles of track and is all that remains of a steam railway network that once stretched around 55 miles across the Isle of Wight.
What number are you heading for?
This service starts at Havenstreet station and travels on to Smallbrook for a quick stop while they reposition the steam engine.
Here we go, right time.
An army of volunteers help keep this nostalgic service running to a schedule most commercial services would be proud of. Everyone, from the firemen, engineers, train guards to cleaners, ensure every train runs and looks its best for visitors.
What's a real shame is you can't smell all the coal that's being burnt, and the steam in the air is just unique. That is absolutely beautiful.
Coupled with the streamlining of Britain's rail networks in the 60s and modernisation of the island's rail service, all took its toll on the steam-powered trains. The island's last steam-powered service left its platform on December 31st, 1966.
So once you reach the station of Smallbrook, what they do is they take the engine from the front and then down this little sidetrack here, and then connect it to the front and then take us back again. Which may sound pretty boring, but I can tell you now the views that you can see along the way are just absolutely amazing. Not to mention that lovely smell of coal burning and the steam in the air.
Much of the island's steam trains and carriages were scrapped. However, thanks to the Isle of Wight Steam Railway's predecessor, the Wight Locomotive Society, one of the island's former steam relics avoided the crusher, and a brand new steam railway service was born.
Now I remember trains back in the day, and I'm talking back in the day now, going from Liverpool Street, and they weren't that dissimilar to this. And one of the things I always remember was a sign on top of the door, because you used to be able to pull down the windows, basically saying, do not lean your head out the window.
There is a reason they ask you not to put your head out the window, as things like tunnels and branches can get a bit too close.
But what I like is the attention to details. To open the window, there's a leather strap, and you unhook that, because that holds it in position. And to lift the window, you literally just do that, pull down on the strap, lock it into place. And the other thing is this, and I'm not going to pull this and demonstrate it, is this, the emergency cords. It travels through piping, I guess, that connects all the way through all the carriages into the driver's and driver engine. And I've just noticed a sign on here that says if I pull the chain, you get a £5 penalty.
it then whizzes back past Havenstreet, heading for its next stop at Wootton. After taking in yet more beautiful countryside, the engine is again unhooked and repositioned at the other end of the train so it can take us back to where we boarded it at Havenstreet. As the train is hooked back into position, it's great just watching and listening to an almost rhythmic sound of steam and mechanics working in perfect harmony.
You know, you see these steam engines on the telly in these old films, but nothing can compare to actually being on one. And as I said earlier, smelling that coal burning in the air and even seeing that steam just floating past the train. And the passion these guys and girls have for running this service just spills over. The enthusiasm is just incredible. And I guess why these trains still running, providing an absolutely fantastic service for everybody.